range support players within the LPL, but his Leona has also been historically good. He won a World Championship with both that and the Thresh.
I do sort of find it funny that that was such a big storyline that Chris can't play Hook Champions, right? When actually,
no, he's so famous at them.
Historically, like LPL was like Hook Champions or die, you know, like those are the options. So, but obviously that year, like he was really good. Anyway, I digress. Nautilus going to be locked in, so he is going to have a Hook Champion.
Yeah.
Let's see how that storyline rounds out.
Yeah, the thing with Weibo is that you'll point at most of these players and you say, well, historically they've been great at this, but what's the current form? On Weibo of all teams, you have to ask that question. On the other side, Yuekai, he had a great spring, I think, considering the level of Ultra Prime. I think he stood out to me. His first series wasn't great. I think he has to recover a little bit from that one. Niket coming up from the LDL, though. He came in immediately first series, had a player of the game. I think this guy has been a pretty good pickup for Ultra Prime. And that Leona. It's Leona Nautilus meta again, everyone. Yay, LPL engaged supports.
Honestly, I'm okay with it. I know people got bored of this, but it just means that there's more fighting. I'm so down for that. I'm so down for that. Hacker gonna go with the brand. So AP jungler, bit of carry potential. Oh, breathe. He's gonna go for Camille. This is a
He's been banned away from the lock
for him. I mean, this is OG. This is
okay.
Back in the day when he used to be called Curse, he was all about the Camille, all about the Fiora. He has that skill. Time to express it.
And in their previous series, even though Breathe would have been blind picking it, he has had it banned away from him in the first two bans. We've had Jax and Camille banned away from this guy. I think that there are two sides to the top lane coin right now. I think a lot of people are very happy to blind pick stuff like the Cascana when it's open, stuff like the Cassante as well is completely fine to do that with. Then on the other side, you can still play Camille, Twisted Fate, the Jax, and carry through top lane. And I think that that's a really good thing for a player like Breathe. Breathe has been, again, on the upper echelons of that for a while. It's also a way to lock down the brand and the Corki in this draft, which can lock onto big picks with the Nautilus and the Talia. The Go combo from Weibo is really powerful if they're on the same page.
It's also very telegraphed, like when they're going to go, you know about it. Like a wall appears on the map, Nautilus just throws an anchor in. And you expect Breathe to be bouncing off of the walls to try and get in amongst the action. Renekton and Jax banned away. Two of the tougher matchups for the Camille. I'm really curious what QingTian is going to bring to that top side, because I feel like Renekton, typically one of the picks that he has relied on over his career. Things like the Cassante up and available, but Cassante kind of struggles into the Camille. The tree damage really makes that a tough matchup.
Could be a QingTian Darius angle. We'll see. Played a game of that the other day, and well, it didn't go so well. It was into the Rumble, and maybe we don't talk about that specific game. But no, QingTian has not shied away from carries in his own rights. I think it'd be harder to play something like the Twisted Fate out of those options because Camille's cap closes on you so efficiently. And you get burst out. As soon as he hits 2 items on the Camille, effectively the game just ends beyond that point. Tarzan going towards his Lee Sin. Very famous pick from him. On the other side, of course, Weibo replacing Xiaohu and ZDZ from Spring. These two top side talents were once brought in to fill in the gap.
Doggo looking at potentially some very aggressive bot laners there. The Kalista and the Draven being hovered. I would love to see that aggression being brought down to the bottom side, and it will be the Kalista locked on in. And remember, this is probably going to be the lethality Kalista. A lot about that poke damage alongside the Corki. Brand also plenty of follow-up on that initial burst damage. This is like a annihilate one target angle. You mentioned it already. QingTian brings out his Darius once more.
I mean, it's a skill matchup into the Camille. If whoever gets ahead with the first solo kill tends to really snowball the game from that point, but as you said, with the rest of the composition from Ultra Prime, it is kill first target, and why not give yourself a Darius getting able to stack up the passive, stack up that damage from the ult as well, get that resetting across the rest of the team. That can be very, very powerful. It's quite hard to play the Darius in this comp though. A lot of things to lock you down. If you get the Nautilus hook through a minefield, the center W on top, Darius cannot afford to get hit by any of this CC. I think the rest of the team can just about get away with it. I think Brand and Corki can play with a little bit more range in the Kalista. So weirdly as well, the conversation around Kalista, you go back even 4 or 5 years ago, Kalista into Talir, or things like Ashe, you'd be saying, oh man, you can't play into these champions. With the lethality Kalista, you do not play from your auto-attack range, you play from your Q range, and that means that these champions, which typically counter her, have a much harder time reaching her. Ultra Prime finished that first target. Weibo, they want to CC again, the first person that dives in, if possible. They have a really good counter combo if they also pull it off well.
To see win conditions looking reasonable on both sides, right? Does feel like both of these compositions have functional ways of closing this game out. I'm looking towards QingTian though. We've seen a Darius game this split. It has to be mentioned that against Ala, he went 0-6-0.
Yep.
It was truly an incredibly rough game to watch for QingTian. But remember, this is a player that has been all the way at the upper echelons of the LPL. This is a player that has finished first in the regular season, that has been in the LPL finals, who's behind Wayward generally on that roster, but played some of those big games himself. We know he has high highs. He's in a skill matchup. Now we got to see him redeem that previous Darius performance as we head into the game. Weibo, on the other hand, looking to redeem themselves pretty much across the board. This is a team that has struggled, but the quality of players across the Rift is really, in theory, on paper, some of the best in the league. But can they make that come true on the Rift? It's time to find out. It's time to head into game number 1. Support showing up today. Ultra Prime. It's good to hear. It's good to hear that the fans are still behind this team.
And like I said, I have a soft spot for this team. I have a soft spot for a lot of underdogs anyway in Ultra Prime. They did feel like that plucky team, which was so close to success in a lot of their series. Couldn't quite close it out, and they were kind of ending up down towards, again, the bottom end of the table for the last few splits now. Weibo on the other side, they've been pretty damn good. I mean, coming into 2023, they were kind of put as a super team. They put together a hell of a roster, and then it ended up going flip-flopping for the entire year, and somehow ending up in a World Finals anyway. This year they've tried to get through that again. Breathe, buddy, you're going to have to start a hook shot here, aren't you? Yep, that one's going to be a bit awkward for level 1, and we're going to get ourselves a lane swap coming through. We did say that these are occasionally there, but Weibo have matched it. They've sniffed it out, and it will be Australia lane. It's hysterics when you need him.
Berlin, I believe. Just like you, actually. He's literally around the corner for you.
Yeah.
go give him a shout. We'll see if he's available. Yeah, bot lane is up in the top side, which does mean plates are less of an option. And luckily for Breathe, he's going to be the first one down to that bottom lane. So even though he's starting hook shot, like, he's still able to get priority in this lane and hopefully get to level 2 pretty damn quick, because he's going to need another ability.
Yeah, he needs the second wave to come in, of course, to get himself up to that level 2. And yeah, it's a big problem going into Darius with that, because particularly with Camille and Darius, you're both so much based on your spacing, because you both have the tactical sweep and then, of course, the decimate as well. Trying to play for that sweet spot can be very important, where he does hit that level 2, but gets hit by the sweet spot in return. Level 2, QingTian's facing well.
Nicely done there by QingTian to trade.
Tarzan.
Tarzan's moving down there. I think Breathe is going to try and look juicy on this one. Dives in, doesn't find the stun, but just starts to fight QingTian. Ghosting in the wrong direction here. He's in the 2v1, going to be slowed. The Q lands, and can they finish it? He's pulled up the Q! Tarzan's in trouble here as QingTian forces for more. Bleed stacked on Breathe. It's not enough for a kill, but QingTian outplays.
Oh, it's like those war flashbacks of this time in spring last year when QingTian got that triple kill in his first Darius game of 2023. This guy has done some great damage on this champion before in the past. Very nearly 1v2s there. Darius has always got that brief threat of it. Just about gets away with it, but now with no summoners, feels a little bit awkward in this lane. He's going to get some CS to get himself some more XP. But playing Darius in weak side, that's not really what you want from Ultra Prime.
It's literally the opposite of the champion's entire MO. Like, he is not a weak side champion, he is a strong side champion. Him and Draven both. Yeah, great start though from QingTian. We said he needs to kind of redeem himself from his previous Darius performance. Right. Really fantastic start. Had he been level 3, I think that's probably a kill on Tarzan.
It's usually so. I think not having that W definitely doesn't help either. You can see that Breathe is actually coming back up towards this top side now. What we're probably going to have is Crisp recall teleport bot side, and they're going to leave Breathe alone in this top side. Need to see whether Doggo and Niket see this one coming through. They don't right now. QingTian is heading back towards bot side. We need to see what Weibo are going to do with their lanes. I feel like Weibo's read on this early game has been pretty good, and now you have the Senna and the Camille. We see this from the Senna. Remember, the Senna is basically a support. They can help your top laner to kind of like either 2v1 against the melee top laner or 2v2 if the enemy team has switched up there too. So Breathe very happy with this, and also freezing the wave on top side as well, necessitating that Ultra Prime need to come and break that. I actually really like what Weibo are doing in this early game. This is much better than we've seen from them in some of their other games.
Worth quickly mentioning as well, Lai is actually going first strike on the Senna, which, you know, it's often harder to notice the Senna runes because where the rune
stacks,
slot is for a lot of champions, that's where the stacks are for the Soul. So just wanted to point that out for the audience, for any Senna enjoyers out there. A little bit of gold generation. Oh, Tarzan actually gets the smite last possible second.
Oh, that's important too, because one of the things that could break this game is that while Tarzan is kind of like messing around and trying to get into lanes as only really Lee Sin can in this early stage of the game, Hacker can just kind of pull ahead and farm an absolute ton of camps and gets to the 1-2 item spike of AP farming junglers, which has been a hallmark of the meta. Again, if you missed the memo coming into summer, these are the first games that you're watching. AP farming junglers are really strong because of a new item called Blackfire Torch. It gives you mana, it gives you cooldown reduction, and it gives you a flat burn as well. Means that they're very, very powerful. So Hacker losing this dragon. Oh, brother.
He lost vision. That's unfortunate. Breathe, though, in the meantime, in a lot of trouble up on this top side. The bleed is plenty alongside the burn. QingTian with first blood.
I don't know what Breathe is doing there. He uses his hook shot to get beyond the tower to put a try and put a ward down in enemy jungle. Rogues walks into Hacker, and as we said, Hacker didn't get that red buff steal away, but he does get himself kill participation. QingTian gets ahead in this matchup as well. We said how flippy that is. Hacker gets free access towards these robs, and Brand takes these very quickly. The passive will stack onto all of them, and you can see it here. Passive stacking across all three makes it so, so quick. Ultra Prime just got their lifeline in an early game, which felt very Weibo favored.
Nice stuff coming out from Ultra Prime. Great stuff from QingTian specifically. You'd see 500 gold up. He's now going to proxy the next wave as well. And he's more than happy if Tarzan plays on the opposite side of the map. But hang on, it's a hook on Doggo, and the route to follow up from Light is up, flashing to find that. The flick back from Xiaohu. Doggo surely goes down here. Crisp flashes for the route, and Doggo falls. Crisp low, but Niket can't really trade the damage. Great play from Weibo.
Oh. It was, but what is Doggo doing there? If you're not fully contesting that dragon, you need to be very careful. No cleanse, went for the barrier. More changes to AD carries, by the way. Barrier is just very strong right now. Slightly longer cooldown, but very high shielding amount even in the early game. Doesn't stop CC though. Now Niket trying to save this wave state. Going to take a load of damage for it. Really managed to get that much done. It's going to slightly freeze the wave, I suppose, and get Doggo into a better position there. But still, awkward positioning means that he goes down, and that's exactly what they didn't need after they just got that lifeline in the early game.
Tough one there from Doggo. And he's got a serrated Dirk now, so, I mean, this path, like, you should have just gone with Niket, right? Even if you want to try and get some vision, you don't need to be walking that way.
Niket is so tanky at this point. See, I actually like what Niket tries to do here. He tries to body block the last bit of damage coming through from Weibo, but sadly can't quite get that positioning. Almost buys his AD carrier's life. Of course, Niket, new player up in the LPL, did some great work in the LPL just before this. Can't quite save his AD carry there.
Decent look from him so far this split. One of the rookies that I think a lot of people have their eyes on right now is looking like he could be a serious name in a couple of years, you know? And that's the exciting thing about when we get these rookies coming in, like IG as well, bringing some rookies in. You get a first glimpse, and when that first glimpse is promising in the way that Niket's currently has been decent, you can sort of see a later version, because yes, there'll be some weaknesses. There's naturally going to be some weaknesses coming on through there, but once those weaknesses are shored up, you look at the strengths and think, okay, if they had this strength without those weaknesses, how good of a player they are they, sorry, and that's when the conversation gets really exciting.
And, you know, Niket's had some teammates go up towards the LPL just before him. Nio, we saw him on Rare Atom. Both those players were on top esports challenges, the team that they were down there in the LDL. If you want to do some further research on those players and how they were doing down at that level. We've had a lot of good LDL prospects recently, though. Of course, Milky Way, XDZ, his mid laner from that time as well. He was on RNG, or rather, that's World Cup, rather. That's their LDL team. That's the old name they used to go by way back in the day. They both, of course, then in the LPL as well. XDZ. Oh, that's a bad cancel there from Yuekai, though.
Forced the flash here. Tarzan going to be happy with that one. Mid laner flash down. Xiaohu potentially with an opportunity. Xiaohu so good. Both flicks we've seen on camera hitting. That's going to be a flash. The last one set up for a kill on Doggo. Nice game so far on the Talir, because Xiaohu and Tarzan, both players that we were coming in with a close eye on. The series so far from Weibo, they've not been looking that good. So far, so good here against Ultra Prime.
Yeah, really well played there. Of course, he's got the tier 2 boots as well, which really helps out with being able to, again, space out this matchup. If you're able to get into that sweet spot, can really help. Of course, he doesn't have a teleport. He needs to be able to cancel that if Breathe runs to join the play. What he really wants to is an early game Camille. Ultra Prime will watch that dragon go down, secure a little bit of vision from the bot lane crash as well. He's calming down a little bit. Ultra Prime have themselves the gold advantage. Is this a full dive? I don't think they saw Hacker on the bot side of the map.
Crisp is kind of hard to dive, but Niket is happy to tank the tower. He could have took another shot if he needed to. Doggo grabs a kill and a bit of redemption after the early game.
Hey, that's nice stuff. You can see that Ultra Prime, they hit Hacker just behind Niket, who ends up going in and clearing the vision. Weibo didn't have vision on where Hacker was. Easy dive. Leona, one of the best diving champions in the game with the Eclipse Shield and getting the Aftershock on as well. Very hard to kill them, even with the tower helping.
Nice stuff from Ultra Prime. And again, this is a team that, you know, in terms of power rankings, they're not exactly a top team. But they have some serious potential in the roster. We're
Don't zoom in on it! No!
Every time the observers zoom in on a cannon, you know the player's going to miss it. I swear, they must watch the game 2 seconds ahead so that they can spot this kind of stuff and then highlight it on the stream. It's brutal.
Without fail, Ashin, when he's casting, always highlights how savage the observers are. And I remember the first time he mentioned it, I was like, oh, it can't be that bad, right? It's that bad, folks. It's that bad. They will do this to you. No one escapes this. Whether you're the best player in the league,
I've seen
they will do the same.
just to flame a player before. Like, they really have no chill whatsoever. Could be 6 grubs here. Tarzan wants the idea of contesting it. It's not going to happen. 6 grubs. Fight for Weibo. If they find the hook, Niket happy to block for the time being. The Pyroclasm is good. The knocker from Niket. Light force to flash. Will get away with his life, but that's 6 grubs.
Can I just say, Niket played that fight so well. Ends up tanking with Leona, body blocking for Hacker there, and again, it's early into this game, but Leona, I really think he's played well to be a vanguard for his team, just play that bulwark in front of them. Weibo can't quite get past him right now. Maybe that'll change when they get some items, but Weibo, they lose the 6 grubs over to Ultra Prime. They can't get any gold back there either. They have the 1 dragon, and if they stacked it up with a second one, then they'll have some macro options, being able to maybe just forget about dragons after that second one and allow Breathe to play side lanes with Xiaohu. But this early game right now, it feels like it is Ultra Prime favored.
It does. It's a great start for them, and it's exciting to see a team like Ultra Prime stepping up and challenging Weibo. A team that, you know, again, I've said it before, on paper should be a favorite, but in reality, not necessarily see what we're seeing from the team. Great to see a punish. Great to see that Ultra Prime know their win conditions. They see a mistake from Weibo, and they are instantly on it. They're instantly ready to punish.
I wish I could follow up on that, but all I'm thinking of is, I think it's a Season 5 clip where observers will sometimes highlight really satisfying wave clear as well. There's a famous clip out there somewhere of Lulu full clearing away with a double glitter lens, and it's a thing of beauty, folks. I'm just saying, I kind of miss the really satisfying wave clear clips. If you ever see one, just send one my way, I'll thank you for it.
Pretty sure that's how, like, isn't that like where Ekrit's channel started as well? Didn't he start off doing like the most satisfying wave clear, or maybe it was Skin Spotlights?
Oh, that makes sense. It feels like one of them would have an origin story like that.
Yeah, they'd go on the ARAM map and just stack up 19 waves and then
with like Amumu not taking any
all of it.
Yeah, it's like when Amumu, you can get so many stats, you don't take any damage from minions, and you just ult to clear like a million of them at once. That is very satisfying. You know what? I'd forgotten about that. That was like a little black hole in my brain. That's wonderful. I need to go back and visit them. And Breathe is getting a visit himself. He has flash, has ult. Does he have the stats though? He's level 10, so he's a level up.
Well, they're spotted, but there's 4 of them. Breathe, you gotta make some kind of miraculous
An even
outplay
fight,
go
then?
on here. Let's see if the hook shot is good. The solar flare goes wide, pulled in here. Let's see later. Never mind, no outplay. He's just seated down.
For moments you had again those visions of the past. Shipmaster outnumbered 3-1. An even fight? No, there's 4. It's not an even fight. That was not fair. The full turret falls. 6 scrubs makes it very easy to do that. And Weibo can't even respond on the other side. Senator, not the best tower killers on the other side of the map, and the plates fall, so it's a huge plate advantage. Ultra Prime, they're continuing on top side as well. No globals. That's 2 towers with plates involved, to Weibo getting 1 tower with only half the plates.
It's looking like the best Lord of the Rings film at this rate, because that is a tier 2 going down as well as the tier 1 on the top side for Ultra Prime. They're basically 3,000 gold up over Weibo right now, and they're looking clean doing it.
Did you know that Niket broke his foot when he kicked Breathe in the under the tower type? See, that's funny because it's a Lord of the Rings reference, which everyone references. I'm clever.
Yeah, Viggo Mortensen up in the top side there. Although not really an Axeman. I feel like, if anything, with Darius on your side, with the Kalista on your side, maybe Ultra Prime.
Are we the baddies?
Yeah, they're Isengard right now. And Weibo, they're just wondering, where was Gondor when 4 people
when the top
died?
lane fell? Where was top lane when the top... Oh god, that's great. I love that. We get ourselves Dragon spawning now. Actually quite important for Weibo. Herald goes in. Niket very tanky. Can't really punish him popping out of the Herald there, and the 6 grubs become the Zerg Rush. That's how maybe 4 Quad is slightly more valuable. Gonna get Weibo, sadly for them, can't even answer with 2 dragons early. We said that there are macro options by them ignoring dragons. Harder to do that when you don't get too early, because by the time the 3rd and 4th dragons come in, you don't quite always have those advantages. They have split the map, they do get themselves that top lane out of turret, but once again that's responded to by a bot lane out of turret. So it's not even like Breathe is getting ahead of the individual matchup, or ahead of QingTian as well, because he gets himself the tower there too. And really, Weibo are starting to bleed more gold than they're comfortable giving over. Now, Ultra Prime still need to leverage this gold lead and this objective lead, but they've been doing it well so far.
Certainly have. And honestly, it's games like this that I want to see from Ultra Prime, because these are the kind of games where we get to see what kind of team they are, you know? With a lot of the time, bottom teams in the LPL, they don't necessarily get leads that often, and you don't really get to see what they could do if they got a lead, right? Ultra Prime have a lead, and they've got champions that can snowball really efficiently. Like, this Darius is a problem. He's got a Triforce, so he's not that far away from the dead man's plate. That 2-item spike is devastating from QingTian. Excited to see what he can do with that. Doggo in a similar position where he's already got his opportunity, headed towards a second lethality item. Like, that 2-item spike, another devastating moment within the game. I want to see how Ultra Prime use it.
They have built themselves an army worthy of Mordor, and it feels like Weibo are very much up on the ramparts, shivering their boots a little bit.
We're setting them up for failure right here, because, spoilers guys, if you've not seen it, well, it's your fault. It's been out for decades. Isengard doesn't win that fight.
No!
The Rohirrim arrives. Where is Gandalf? Where is Eomer? That's what I'm asking. Light's wondering the same thing as he's forced to flash away. And it is the light that comes on the 3rd day.
Yeah.
You know?
I was gonna go for the last light of Arnor, just about making it out of that one. Flickering the darkness, and Ultra Prime all the same though. They are doing pretty well at getting themselves some stuff for free. QingTian has himself that really good item Cryo Spike of that, we've already talked about a lot of it, right? Breed's really waiting for his second one. Feels like Ultra Prime are ready to go now. They have the 6 grubs. Don't have the best siege, but they have enough to force them off away from the defenses. They'll get themselves that one. Yuekai side, just so I get away with that. What a way he's going to Breathe!
No, Breathe
Yuekai!
just gonna kill him! Breathe just kills him in half! Oh, it's a disaster! Breathe! Maybe the main character! Maybe it's him that broke his toe after all!
Oh, what just happened there? He teleports right in front of Weibo, gets away with it. You think, oh, he's out safe. No, he's not! Breathe just absolutely decapitates him! And Ultra Prime. That is the first real mistake that we've seen from them really in this early game. I mean, I guess Doggo had that one place where he was caught out earlier, but that's dangerous! You can't be giving that gold over to Breathe. While this happens, Xiaohu gets another wave down towards bot side as well, and they get themselves a bit of a reprieve. Ultra Prime had a bit of a chokehold before this point.
This is suddenly a little bit scary for Ultra Prime. I'm a little bit nervous that Breathe has found himself a kill. Bit of a whoopsie from Yuekai. And of course, we're going to see a replay of that one. As we mentioned before, the observers have absolutely no chill. Gets his true damage ready. Hashtag ultimatum. Look.
And the beacons are lit, and Senna calls for aid on that one. He's at the huge railgun across that. There's courage yet still.
See how far we can go with the Lord of the
Dude,
Rings
I'm
quotes
searching
and
deep for these.
I've got a solid one, but
yeah.
I need the right.
You're not gonna waste it.
it.
What was the one you wasted last game? You had one for the first series. Like, damn, we should have used that in a better location. Is that one of the Mario ones?
I can't remember.
Yeah.
But yeah, should have been a team fight. It wasn't.
The things that we do for content, folks. One thing which I, not to reference too many things not happening again, I loved when Care was playing Annie, because it's just such a sitter for Care Bear. It was even better that he missed basically all of his Annie or all of his Tibbers in the big Annie games that she was playing. Sometimes they just sit in your lap very nicely like that one, and yeah, sometimes they don't, sadly.
Sometimes it don't work out. We'll have to see now how Weibo are going to come back in this one. We've been a little bit silly on the cast here, but it is 20 minutes in with only 5 kills, so I feel like we've got reasonable amount of creative license there. Baron spawns onto the map. It's a Drake apiece, as an Infernal Drake will spawn in 15 seconds. Infernal Soul would definitely be nice for Ultra Prime.
Would be, and the thing is, again, you can see that Weibo, they're trying to sack dragons now to get Breathe in the side lane. Once Breathe gets to 2 items, I think the game changes. With the kill that happened earlier with Breathe getting free access to side lanes, Weibo still have win conditions here. Again, this is, the light is not quite yet out in this game. Breathe, I think, compared to ZDZ, is a much more consistent and capable carry player. ZDZ had great games for Weibo, but they were not, I don't think, as consistent as we've seen from Breathe in the first 2 series that we've seen from him. Even when he's been put behind the game, he has impact. Getting 700 gold from an inner turret, trading that for a dragon. Weibo, I think they got a really good trade for this last objective. Very important so for them. If he gets 2 items now, I think the game really starts to change. I think Weibo can start looking for fights. And there it is, Ravenous Hydra Blade.
It's a scary moment in any game when a big breakpoint item like that is finished off. 2 items on both of these top laners. The early lead diminished now for QingTian. Let's see how he does later on. I will say, in most of these kinds of matchups, the longer the game goes on, the better Camille tends to look. She's a very good champion when it comes to scaling. It's still a skill matchup. It's all about whether or not that pull-in lands. It's all about whether or not Breathe can get his stun, get his true damage off. We'll have to see. I mean, it's reasonable that maybe they never actually 1v1 the side lane at this point, but
I actually think QingTian would want to avoid this matchup now because he's down half a level, almost a full level even. Breathe is level 14. With that, and then also just Breathe having such a good spike at these 2 items, it gets really hard to play it out. See that Yuekai has actually been sent to that side because at least he can wave clear from beyond, you know, Breathe's safe engage range. He can kind of stand next to the opposite wall away from the left side of the lane, which he's kind of afraid of. Valkyrie out and potentially stay safe. Maybe even that will change a little later on. He has himself Infinity Edge though. Yuekai going towards the Trinity Force Core. It's not the crit Halo Blades one. He's very, very happy to start taking fights on this item spike himself. But as you can see, Weibo, the Observer has been on him the entirety of the last 5 minutes. It really is about how Breathe can put Weibo into a good spot.
And he's got a champion that he's known for making an impact on, and he's been found, or has Niket been found? That's the question. Solar Flare comes in on the TP. What a play from Niket, turns it around, and it's Xiaohu to go down. The TP far too deep.
Again, this support player, a bit of real revelation for Ultra Prime in the first few series. The teleport, it's the right kind of call for Weibo to play around Breathe on the item breaks point, but they just don't see the enemy members coming. They don't have the deep vision to see where Hacker, where Niket are, and they end up winning that play. Breathe has to back off, maybe potentially on the bot side of the map. QingTian has himself a free wave on the top side too, so Ultra Prime stopping Weibo's first attempt at trying to play through Breathe in big numbers.
Oh boy, it does feel a little bit like Ultra Prime are getting the best of some of these scenarios. It does feel like Weibo are in control of the map right now, but when it comes to basically all of the times that the players have interacted in this game, Ultra Prime are coming out on top. Breathe, though, he's being a bit greedy here. Hacker's moving over, the
Stun lands,
and that means Niket is free to finish the job. Yuekai gets the kill. A beautiful little play, but again, greedy from Breathe.
And the sword is shattered in top side. Well, I guess it's in bot lane this time, but the top laner who is meant to carry this game for Weibo in 2 plays in 2 minutes has just fallen. There is a Leandries on Hacker. He hasn't even bothered with the Blackfire Torch. He'll have incredible Baron speed. It feels like Ultra Prime may have just found themselves 2 quick plays in a row, which could seal them the game. Weibo must stop the Baron.
Why do I hear boss music for Weibo right now? I'm not sure that this is a fight that they can take Tarzan over the wall, and he wants to try and find a miracle tonight, but he can't even get over. Baron taken for Ultra Prime. I can hear the music of Isengard ringing in my ears right now. The Black Tower has risen.
I was thinking more Moria, because I think Weibo, they delved a little too greedily and a little too deep down towards that bot side. The teleport, the overstay. They didn't hear the drums in the deep from Ultra Prime. And it feels like now, with the Baron being able to kind of wrangle the rest of the map, with the Dragon coming up in a minute, I think Ultra Prime are going to be in a really good spot now to force Weibo away from the side lanes, which they should have been winning. We saw Breathe at a big advantage. It's been cut down from 1k just over that to about half of that now. I think that Ultra Prime are very, very happy with how they've played. And, you know, they haven't made the same early game mistakes we've seen just yet in the mid game. Of course, there's every chance that still will happen. The damage on Weibo is there now. They have the items. There's even a fire cannon coming in on Light as well with the opportunity. The extra follow-up damage. They can very much end this game away, but the ball's in their court for now.
It feels like maybe QingTian turning into the Balrog in these team fights. And usually I'd ask you at this point, like, what do Weibo do to come back into this game? But I know that the sound strategy right now is fly, you fools. This is not the fight that you want to be taking. What is the quote? Like, swords and arrows won't do anything here, or I can't remember. It's a quality quote. Yeah. I can't remember it. Gandalf's full of quality quotes.
He's got some good things. Anyway, the board is set. The pieces are moving. Ultra Prime going in towards this mid lane with the whole horde of these grubs coming alongside it. They have the 6 grubs. It is so easy for them to kill turrets. Weibo might look for a flank TP, but they don't have the wards for it even then. They need to find a way to stop this. Here goes Niket.
Niket finds his angle full of Italia. Throw yourself in next time and rid us of your stupidity. It's a bit of a harsh quote actually to say about a player, but Xiaohu caught there. Won't get away with his life. In the mid in here, probably going to go down here. QingTian, in the meantime, using the Baron to try and...
Xiaohu is going. He's going to use his ults.
It's a hell of a TP. Let's see if the Weaver's wall is good enough, but Crisp has already gone down before Xiaohu can even arrive. He's late to the party. The 3rd day's arrived, but Helm's Deep has already fallen.
There is no set of cavalry charges which will win this away, but they didn't have the TP wards. They couldn't get there in time. The 6 grubs is too much. Weibo, what have they got? If they got a teleport for Breathe, they have no wards on this side of the map. They can't respond in any kind. Ultra Prime, they push in very effectively. They clear the wards effectively, so there's no response either. And it's been controlled start to finish, it feels like, from Ultra Prime. As soon as those 2 plays went down on the side lane, it felt like Weibo struggled to wrangle the map again.
The irony of Xiaohu's wall not being enough when the bomb under the wall is what broke Helm's Deep. Dragon started by Weibo. They're going to try and rush this objective before Hacker can get here, and they do manage to deny the Drake. So a silver lining at very least, and they will walk away, but still 6,000, almost 7,000 gold down, 2 inhibitors down, and you see Ultra Prime immediately move to the bottom side. They won all 3.
And it's textbook League of Legends from them. Again, they'll march in all in rank and file. Here comes Niket, doesn't hit it this time. They choose the Pokemon in the Ultra Ball. It's not going to be choosing a battle this time. They'll flee for now. Weibo will be safe from those ultimates.
It's looking a little bit like Frodo's visions in the mirror. I don't know what it's called. Oh no, I can't remember what it's called. What's the miracle?
I actually can't remember the mirror in that one. I remember, like, there's the visions which, of course, Pippin gets in the Palantir, which you can find out from, obviously there's that one. I can't remember the mirror. Dude, I've forgotten so many of these.
Got her mirror, right? And
oh, yeah.
Frodo sees visions of if they should fail. Right now, it's not looking so hot for Weibo, and we've assigned them to be Rohan in case anyone was just tuning in and wondering what the hell we're talking about. Right now, Ultra Prime Isengard, Weibo, Rohan. And oh
look,
boy.
the thing is, folks, look, us poor LPL casters, we're not used to. I'm not saying we're iPad babies, but we're sat here with 8 kills in a game that's gone 28 minutes long, and we have to make our own entertainment at points. Look, Ultra Prime, serious credit to them for forcing it.
I need a little window of Subway surface on the side to keep me entertained during the game. There's not enough team fights.
It's
Give
like,
me more
remember
kills.
kids, when you have the LPL caster in your car, you need to leave the air conditioning on and like leave the window open and crack, because folks, we're just left here just like biding our own time for the next big journey. And seeing if Weibo can finally break open this game. Sadly for them, Light is not on one of these carry late game champions, which has really worked. And here it goes again, Tarzan caught.
Now for Wrath, now for Ruin, and for the Red Dawn, Weibo do their final charge. But it is met under the sword. Ultra Prime cut them down where they stand. Breathe finally arriving, but it's too little too late. Crisp hooks on in. One last ditch effort, but it's not going to be enough. Decimation is the name of the game for QingTian. He finishes the job. The towers fall. Helm's Deep has fallen. And Ultra Prime step up in Group D.
Shall return from whence they came to the Undying Lands. Quickly moving off the stage, Ultra Prime, job done. Game 1 done. Now we know that Weibo, they can be an inconsistent team. They can show up in one game and absolutely not the other, but it feels like in this one, Ultra Prime, as soon as those side lane plays happen, to shut down the Camille split push as soon as she hit those 2 items, effectively the game is over. Breathe was given all the resources the first time that they tried to play around him, and then the second time after that as well. It fell apart. Weibo just didn't have a plan B.
Yeah, did not have a plan B, and unfortunately, plan A was just not up to snuff, even if they had them, an ace machine. That's going to be game number 1 going the way of Ultra Prime. We'll see if they can do it twice in a row, because Weibo, they're consistently inconsistent. Let's see if that's